Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 12. It's called Vaulting Ambition. Full spoilers for the episode as always. So this episode is a relatively big episode in the sense that it actually reveals and confirms even more stuff. Because we already had quite a bit of unloading.
It's like three in a row.
Yeah, well they've done big reveals, they've done big moments. I'm going to say this is the weakest of them though.
I agree.
As much as what they reveal makes sense, and we've questioned it, we kind of poo-pooed that it was as simple as this. Of course, what I'm talking about here is that Lorca is just from this mirror universe, because we had been speculating he was from another universe for a long time, like way before we got here. But we'd read his reaction when they actually arrived as like, oh, this is not where I meant to go, and
yeah, I remember saying, it's okay if it was he's doing some good acting.
Yeah, the character's doing good acting. I mean,
Yeah.
Isaacs is doing good acting, but I could almost argue that Isaacs is not doing good acting because he's making it too natural looking that he's not surprised. Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
Yeah, he's overcompensated just a touch.
yeah. Whereas if he'd played it properly, it should have been played as, oh yes, I'm surprised that we're here. Yes, that's a very broad stroke.
But we're just supposed to believe that Lorca is that good an actor, clearly.
Yeah, seemingly so. But I'm not criticising it for that necessarily. I'm not criticising it because we wrote it off. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. I don't think the twist itself is bad. I think the reveal itself is kind of clunky, and it doesn't escalate. It doesn't build to it in the way that I would want it to be honest.
No, and do you know what? As well, there's a moment in this episode where I was the most convinced I've ever been that he wasn't from this universe.
Is it when the guy who's like saying, "Say my sister's name," like you know?
Yeah, and he's not doing it, and I'm like, oh, I don't think he's doing it because he doesn't know it.
Yeah, like he's happy to play along, but he doesn't know her name. But then obviously the final confirmation at the end, even though by the time he says this, we've had like 3 other things that confirm it 100%. But he finally says her name was Ava, and then and it's like, I don't know. I think part of it. I mean, admittedly, he might still be a good guy because if he was trying to assassinate the Emperor, maybe he's against the regime. Even though
I think he is ultimately a good guy. Yeah, I think that's why he fits in with the Federation. He's he's a bit more aggressive than they might like, but he goes along with their ideals for the most part.
And so again, the ideas behind the reveal are fine for me, but I honestly felt like see when the conversation between Giorgio, Empress Giorgio, and Michael at the end, when this all starts coming up. See when they started talking about it and the music started ramping up and she starts. I was like, wait, are we doing a reveal right now?
Yeah, and the flashbacks are so clunky.
Yeah, the whole thing, it felt weird. I think the episode as a whole, I actually think is a little bit haphazard because it keeps jumping. It's got like 3 or 4 main plots, which isn't irregular for an episode of TV. But the way it jumps around, it doesn't feel too smooth. I didn't think
it doesn't. I think individually, I like most of the plots to varying extents, some more than others.
Yeah.
As as is normal in an episode of TV with multiple plots. But you're right; they kind of just doesn't have a flow to it. Like we've been, we've had a bit of a groove going for the last 3 or 4.
It didn't feel like a conclusive, like a complete episode that was an experience. Like see when we got to that reveal at the end. Even though the reveal itself was big enough for the end of the episode, I honestly didn't think it was the end.
Another 5 minutes.
Yeah. I when it cut to black, I thought, it's going to come back up as if it was an ad break.
Which I thought was notable that this episode was slightly shorter than most. This was about this was a good 4 or 5 minutes shorter than most.
It was shorter, and obviously they extended it to 15. I wonder if part of that is that they didn't necessarily write more story, they just realised they had too much, but one of the results is that one of the episodes, having spread out another 2,
feels a bit
shorter. Yeah. Which isn't a big deal if that's the case, but my main problem though is just how it doesn't feel like a cohesive whole of an episode. It feels like 4 separate plots that are all taking place in the world, but when it started intercutting at the end with the flashbacks and all that, and it was building up, I think my big problem is pacing and escalation. I didn't feel like we escalated to this, we didn't build to this big final moment. It just kind of happened at the end. I was like, oh, and especially when it's the thing we've been speculating the most probably since the start of the show, is that he's actually from somewhere else, and I feel like the reveal has been kind of flubbed.
I agree. It's one of these things where I'm gonna next week, once we're just dealing with it, it'll be fine. But the actual moment was just kind of
lackluster, I guess.
Yeah, it was like okay, it's just that. It's what we thought.
Yeah, fumbled. The ball, dribbling the ball quite well, but then they fumbled and it went rolling off the side. um, I'll stop with the analogies. I've made a lot of them at this point, but the point being is it just kind of felt underwhelming and disappointing.
It did.
This is all it was. This is all it is. There's bigger things that actually kind of happen in this episode, because Stamets talking to other Stamets inside the network, and it's like, okay, he's kind of working with him. He seems okay, but it becomes clearer and clearer as it goes on. Oh no, he's actually a pretty bad guy, and he's responsible for why the network's corrupting and why all this bad stuff's happening. And Stamets gets to see Culber in there. He gets to talk to him and sort of realize what's happened to him, and ultimately comes out. And like, again, going back to the clunkiness, I thought when he's like, oh, because when he's talking to our Stamets, and Stamets explained, oh, I was sending you messages, I was sending you images from our world, and he's like, oh yeah, that's why I saw Tilly as captain. And it cut to a shot of Tilly, and then it cut to a shot of like the Empress's like palace, yeah. I mean, it's like a space station palace, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think he calls it a palace, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if I need those cutaways to these things.
No, I didn't. It's something I complain about a lot in TV as well, especially when it's something that, you know, your audience has already put together. It just feels insulting to show at us. It's that, you know, once we got here and we saw, oh, Tilly was a captain, we went, oh, okay, so that's what he saw. And telling us that, oh no, he showed you those things, that's a nice thing to tell us. That's, you know, that's new information, but I didn't need the actual image of it. It's like, okay, yeah, we already saw that.
Yeah, it feels like it's beating you over the head with the idea when we've already figured it out like 2 episodes ago. It's just, again, that word clunky. The episode feels clunky, because I would describe the first like batch of episodes as clunky up until about 7, and then it started to smooth. It was okay. They start to feel more confident and more refined, and like they've got like individual plots for the episodes, but they connect to the larger whole. And this episode felt like it was back to Clunkyville, where
it was a bit of a misstep, this one.
Things don't line up completely together.
That's the thing. There's things in here I like. There's some things that I really like, like the scene where, you know, Emperor and Michael are, you know, having dinner.
It's okay. I thought it was a bit weird. They were like, the rest of the episode is dead serious, and this scene is like comedy. Up until the ending, of course, but like all the stuff at the start when she's like, "Here, eat this part of this alien that you wouldn't normally eat in your world," and she's like, "Okay."
What? Well, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was plastic. It was Kelpian that she was eating. Saru's species, you know, the one that she just picked out. You know that one she picked out.
Oh,
that's what they were eating. So it wasn't playing it as comedy. It was her going, "Oh, I don't want to eat this. I've just, you know, she chose it like you'd choose a lobster."
You say it's not played for comedy. The look in her face as she was trying to swallow was comedy.
I mean, it is if you're reading it that way, sure. But I wasn't. It was more just, oh no, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, had I remembered the name of his species, I'd have gotten that scene better. But I didn't.
Yeah, that one's on you.
That one's on me. But I mean, I'll be honest. If you'd asked me what his species was called like 10 minutes ago, I would never have gotten to that in a million years.
Honestly, I'm not sure I would have done. But they made a point of saying it. You know, when she's got to pick it out in front of them. And then she says it there, and that's when she, you know, realizes what it is.
Okay. No, that's my bad. But like, all right, that seems okay. I guess is my point. Like, what did you like about it?
No, I like that stuff. I liked it. It felt like, you know, I wasn't sure if she already knew that she was from another world, and she's like, no, I'm gonna make you do this because I know what your world's like. Yeah,
I think later on it confirms she didn't really know that specifically. She just knew she wasn't.
She was expecting it to be betrayed. Yeah, either way. So she was kind of playing with her regardless. She was like, I know something that you don't want me to know. As
soon as she finds it, because Michael kind of just fesses up and tells her, and as soon as she does, Gorgio like kills everyone in the room. She has like
pretty cool looking.
She's like a phantasm ball that goes around the room.
I want one of those.
And like kills everyone except one guy's like, hey, do you want promoted? They never say a word of this and clean all the bodies up. And he's like, yes, Emperor. And like again, that moment's actually pretty cool, and I like the idea of that she already knows it, because I like the idea that I was rolling my eyes a little bit at the start when we find out all the files they stole. Like that was like a lot of the episode last time was for stealing these files about the Defiant, right? And then this time, it's right at the start of the episode. Oh, most of this is redacted. It's useless. Well, let's go and try and get more files from the the base. And I'm like, really, we're doing that again? Now, to be fair, that's not really what the episode becomes, but I was kind of rolling my eyes at that point. However, I did like the revelation that they were redacted, because, oh no, they speak of compassion and working together in peace, and like they censored that because that's like abhorrent to them.
They're suppressing the knowledge. Yeah,
I like that idea. That's a cool idea.
it is.
I'll give that props. But yeah, so you got that. And of course, you got Stamets, who does wake up at the end of the episode, and he's all got plans. Okay, this is how we fix things. This is how we do things. And
he's marching off. It's like, nah, don't worry about that. I already know. I already spoke to my man. It's fine.
Until he's just taken aback. And of course, there's some nice stuff with her and Saru. I like Saru kind of being commanding officer, like him trying to encourage her, but telling her not to get too fanciful with it, because she's all hopeful. Because this might mean this, and he's waking up this and that's like
I actually really enjoy seeing how Saru interacts with the various people, because obviously here he's in command, but when you have that moment where Michael contacts him, is like, oh, come and rendezvous, we need this, and he's like, I'd prefer this coming from the captain.
Yeah, he's putting on a brave face for all the people that he's in command of, but when he actually gets to open up to the people who he wants to get orders from, he's like, no, please come and start calling the shots, this is terrifying. I might be ruining everything. Yeah. And of course, other Stamets wakes up elsewhere at the same time. He's on an ISS ship. I didn't quite catch the name. Did you catch the name?
Yeah, Charon.
Charon.
Which you learned what that was in one of our news videos this week.
I did. That was the mythology, the maze, and guiding someone to the afterlife or something like that, right?
I think it's Greek mythology. He guards the river, the crossing
to Hades.
He's kind of the person who takes you to Hades.
You're right. I never would have put that together until you said, "Oh, you learned what that was." I was like, "Did I?" Oh, yeah, it rings a bell. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Last minute update, because I don't want people to tell us in the comments. So the Charon, this ship that Stamets has woken up on, Carter's just discovered what ship that is.
Yeah, that's the Emperor's ship that they're all kind of on in the episode,
which is relevant. I never caught that was the ship name from the rest of the episode.
From the rest of the episode, I didn't. I caught it in that scene where he wakes up because it says it on the screen.
Yeah.
But that's obviously why I didn't put two and two together. I just happened to see that now when I glanced at something.
But it's important. It's worth mentioning. He's right there where Michael and Lorca are, effectively. I mean, it looks like a pretty big ship, admittedly, but I mean, he's there.
Yeah, he's around.
Yeah. So I imagine he will pop in and he'll be around while Gorgio's negotiating with Michael, and Michael's whatever.
It means he's definitely still in this universe as well.
It does, yeah. We don't get much of him, but I can't imagine he's up to anything good.
No, because like I said, we know he corrupted the network, and we know it was because he was trying to abuse it. It seemed like it was accidental. He didn't intentionally corrupt it, but whatever he was doing, something went wrong.
Yeah. And obviously, Giorgio wants to know how they got here. So, you didn't come through that. Because she mentions everyone who came through in the Defiant all went mad because their brains couldn't handle the trip. So
she mentions they were, time displaced as well.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that season 3 episode of the original series when we get to some Defiant stuff. Because it's all going to link together for me. It's just going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah. But so there's cool tidbits throughout, and obviously you have Tyler / Vok, and we've been saying Vok wrong the entire time. We've been saying Vok. Yeah,
I was convinced it was Vok, and then 6 times in a row they went Vok in one scene. I was like, okay, yes, it's that.
In our defense, it's mostly been said while speaking Klingon before, and we've been reading subtitles. So I think this was the first time we'd heard human beings, or even Saru, who's speaking like a human being, actually just say it.
Yeah, I think the problem is when we have the Klingon scenes, I kind of tune out and just read because it's so monotone. So I don't really ever heard them say it. It was there, but I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, and the plot here is that Saru's trying to convince L'Rell to hey, what did you do to him? Fix this. You have to do something about this. And she's pretending she doesn't care. And then he shows footage of what he's done to himself, and then beams him into the cell with her. And she's like, okay, this can be fixed, but only by my hand. So we get again, almost an amusing scene of several, I'll call them red shirts, with their phasers up, where she's operating on Tyler. And we'll see kind of what that leads to, if that's successful. Because we don't really get an ending to that quite this week.
No, he seems to calm down because he's repeating the same prayer that's been going on.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean, is this going to be a case of no? We're just going to restore him as his mind as Vogue. That's the way to fix it.
yeah, is Tyler just gone now?
Yeah. I mean, they do tell us, Tyler's dead. They just used his DNA and reconstructed his memories and
Yeah.
consciousness. So
So
the Tyler that they captured is dead.
yeah, but he's still real because it's all the real memories and stuff. So
Oh,
he's still
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
he's still real in there, which was a big thing we were concerned about. Which is fine. I almost wonder if we get some sort of weird Mr. Robot thing going on with Tyler and Vogue.
Ah, no,
I could
be
see it.
interesting. Like I say, I think this leads to him being the perfect negotiator between the two sides ultimately, because he'll have a bit of both in him.
Here's a big thing. Is this neatly given as the full on modern retcon for why the Klingons look human in the original series?
I'm not gonna lie, I considered that.
Someone commented last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but someone mentioned in the comments, Worf, who's from Next Gen and he's in Deep Space Nine. Apparently, when he's asked about this, because they bring it up at one point, I think it's
I know. There's a reason.
yeah, and I think because Deep Space Nine has a Tribbles episode where they travel back to the original series episode and they sort of interact Back to the Future 2 style. Someone asked him about it in that episode, I believe, and I can't remember the exact quote, but he mentioned something about being painful. And everything we've heard about this so far, about them having to crunch his bones down to make it fit into human size, I'm like, that sounds painful.
Yeah, no, it does.
And he doesn't want to talk about it. I think that was the gist of the comment. But it would stand to reason. I mean, why they then do this to lots of people so that every Klingon we see in the original series is human looking is, another question. And what's with all the fancy goatees?
Hey, they gotta have a style. It's uniform.
Which, to be fair, Ash does have a beard. He does have. I mean, it's not quite the silly goatee of the old show, but
No, but I mean, a little bit of modelling, not too far away.
so yeah. Again, interesting. It does kind of feel like, I don't know if it feels like stuff's been cut out necessarily, but it feels like some of these subplots maybe should have been in other episodes, and the entire episode should have spent building up to the Lorca reveal. Like, I didn't want anything else. Like, that should have been nothing but Lorca and Michael on that ship the entire time, and slowly building to that reveal.
Yep, no, that's fair. Alternatively, I'd have taken a whole episode of Stamets inside the network.
Oh yeah, I could have done that. A trippy episode where everything's all kind of...
Yeah, I'd have been down for that. And have him learn things, the way he does in there.
Yeah,
and
I think those two plots are both rushed because they're squeezed into like 2 or 4 plots in this episode, and then the others feel like subplots which would be fine in another episode, but here with these other two, they feel like it's just adding to the pile.
Because that's the thing, I like both of those plots and what they're doing in concept. It's just they don't quite get to the heights that they should do.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm disappointed with the Lorca reveal, and not because I'm disappointed in what they've revealed. I'm just disappointed with it. Just feels
the way
like
it was handled.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big deal. It feels like, he looks down and says Ava, and I'm like, okay. And obviously they mention that everyone in this Earth or this universe has that light sensitivity thing.
Yes.
So presumably all of their windows and stuff are all designed with that in mind. But obviously Lorca and the regular Earth has to, with the eye drops and everything else is doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense, but it just but bit of a thud, bit of a whimper. This episode.
I will say I did like the amount of him, getting the defibrillator on the guy's head. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was all right.
I mean, it says a lot though that's the standout of this reveal to me.
I think because that's the thing. I like the idea. Again, in theory, of this guy, it's like, oh, my sister died because of you, and you might have even done more with her. It's implied that there's sexual assault even going on here, or at the very least seducing her and then ordering her to her death.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking more of. Yeah. It's like no, she went with you willingly. But we hate that because,
Yeah, you manipulated her and then you just sent her to her death kind of thing, yeah. So regardless, you've got this going on and this guy's torturing him and wanting him to admit what he's done, and I think that's a fascinating idea. And I think this comes back again to me thinking that this should have almost had an entire episode devoted to it, because I feel like if you had time to build that up, I would care when he gets out of that cell and he kills this guy. As it is, this guy's a no-name. I have no idea who he is. But yeah, I feel really bad that we're being so down in this episode, but ultimately...
That's the thing, there's still things and ideas I like, it's just clunky. Again, this is how I felt with the first chunk, where There was things I like in the show, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's and it's a shame when you actually like the ideas, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of whiffing on the execution and the pacing, the actually building the drama of the moments. And like again, talking about things feeling rushed, like I like the stuff with Stamets and Culber, but it felt like it was really truncated into like one or two scenes where you give that time, give that.
Yeah, there's like that should have been quite a lot of emotional. Like, also, this is kind of like their way of going. There's an afterlife almost.
Yeah, and it means we might see Culber again, even though he's dead.
Well, yeah, because he's still in there. He
Yeah.
kind of says that, which I like in some ways. But I'm going, okay, what are the rules for this afterlife style thing?
Yeah, and if this is something that we really get a hold of, then yeah, I feel like it has to be not destroyed, but like there has to be like a disconnection from it, where everyone kind of like agrees to never touch it again. It's just why it's not in use in Star Trek for the rest of the
Yeah, I mean,
ever.
we've been saying it the whole time. Something's got to go to a point where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we can't use that. I mean, to be fair, maybe this infection that's going on with it is kind of the start of that. You know, the
Well, maybe,
idea of
yeah.
okay, no, we lose our supply. You know, the system itself, the network is kind of consumed by this, and maybe that's it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, maybe. I really wish I liked this one more, but the
Yeah, me too.
the reveal just kind of landed with a thud, and it didn't really feel that exciting, which is a shame. But hey, there you go. That is Star Trek Discovery season 1 episode 12. Clearly, I was thinking of the episode number so long that I just put in the season before, even though I didn't need to. I never do that at the end.
You panicked.
But hey, that's episode 12. So yeah, we're very lukewarm in this, despite liking the ideas. Hopefully next week's back on form. It is a little bit worrying because thought we were on the path where it kept building and getting better, and this was kind of a dip.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping it's just just a fault.
Yeah, hopefully the home run. We got 3 episodes left. Hopefully the final stretch is more satisfying,
I'm hoping.
but we shall see. So that is Star Trek Discovery. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. There's a link in the description, as well as some other useful links. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?